Hi everyone, I'm Reagan, and welcome to another episode of Inner Harbor Cast. Today, we're joined by someone who's not only representing CNY on a national stage, but also making a powerful impact right here in our community. Lexi Spadaro, did I pronounce that
Yeah,
correctly?
you got it right.
Mrs. Northeast International 20 July and the Mrs. International pageant, but her mission goes far beyond the crown. Through her initiative, Project Carry On, Lexi is working to support women and children experience domestic violence and homelessness by providing essential items and raising awareness for these critical issues. We're excited to have her here today to share her story, her journey, and how we can all get involved. Lexi, thank you so much for joining us. How
Yes,
are you
I'm very
today?
excited. Thank you so much for having
Yeah,
me.
of course. So, can you kind of introduce yourself to the audience, where you're from?
Yeah, so my name is Lexi, and I was born and raised here in Syracuse, New York. I am a graduate of West Genesee High School, went on to get my bachelor's degree at SUNY Cortland in teaching. I got my master's degree at SNHU, and that is in early literacy. And I'm actually a second grade teacher for the Central Square
I
School
love
District.
that.
So I am still very local, and
Yeah.
I'm impacting the youth, which is really special to me. I am married to my high school sweetheart. We've been together for 18 years,
It's
but
beautiful.
married for almost 7. So we're getting over that 7-year hump. They say
Yeah.
that after 7 years, it's smooth sailing.
Mhm.
So 7 years with him, and we have 2 really adorable little boys. We have Axel, who is 3, and we have Easton, who is 5.
It's beautiful. So, can we kind of get into Mrs. International?
Yes.
And for those that may not be familiar with that, what is Mrs. International pageant, and what does that like title stand for? What's that pageant stand for?
Absolutely. So, Mrs. International is actually an organization that I've been with since 2017. I was honored to be Miss New York International 2017,
Oh my
placing
goodness.
top 10 at Miss International.
Very cool.
I then represented New York again in 2024. I was Mrs. New York International, went on and placed third runner up in the world at Mrs. International. So I'm now moving on again, but this time I wanted to represent the entire Northeast. And what's really special about this specific organization is that it's very much platform based. So they want women that are out there within their communities, but also globally
Mhm.
making a positive impact. And that's what's always drawn me into the international pageant family, we call it. They are very much a family. It is a sisterhood like no other. I still talk to the women that I met in 2017.
Mhm.
The entire organization is run by a family. So the Richardsons are so sweet and so kind. And I always feel very welcomed whenever I'm in their presence.
I love that. So what kind of inspired you to step within the world of pageantry, and like how has that journey shaped you?
I have always loved giving back to my community. I've been doing it since I was young, but of course, I love glamour. I love glitz. I love anything that
Mhm.
sparkles. So I've always wanted to dabble in pageantry, but didn't really know how to do that.
Sure.
And I was introduced to it in about 2016, competed in my very first pageant, and I was hooked instantly. And it wasn't just because of the beautiful gowns and being able to be on stage, but it was truly the sisterhood, meeting so many other incredible women that were like minded. But then it
Mhm.
was being able to share what I'm passionate about. And I think that it's really important, even as an educator, to show my students what it means to give back and the power
Mhm.
that you can have as an individual, no matter what.
That's very cool. And as you so you're representing Central New York on a national stage, and you mentioned
Yes.
you are a very local girl.
Much.
So what does that responsibility feel like, or how does it feel to know that you're representing Central New York?
It makes me really proud. It makes me
It
very
should,
proud.
yeah.
It's when I represented New York twice on the
Mhm.
international stage, that made me so proud. But now to be able to represent the Northeast, but really hone in on Syracuse, I think that's really special. And I know that I've made an impact when I have students. Actually, my one student came up to me the other day and he goes, "Mrs. Spadaro, I Googled you." He goes, "Googled me? What do you mean you Googled me?" He goes, "You're famous." And I was like, "Yes, I am. I am famous." But it
That's
was really
awesome.
cool that one of my students, one, took the time to Google me. I think that's
Mhm.
pretty special, but then
Yeah.
saw the impact that I was making. And that is very special to me.
It is.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So kind of segueing into Project Carry On,
Mhm.
can you kind of talk about how did this initiative begin?
It really stems back to my education career. And I see families on a daily basis that
Mhm,
are going through some really difficult times that need
mhm,
some extra assistance. And I am very lucky that within my specific building, we have a lot of different programs that are put in place for these families that may
mhm,
need a little bit of extra support. But I wanted to bring that idea on a more global stage. There are so many different organizations out there that are helping any person in a difficult situation, but
mhm.
I really wanted to make my own that focused on mothers and children because a lot of times these mothers, they are put into these really difficult situations, domestic violence, and they can't get out because they don't think they can get out. And I really want to bring them some hope and encouragement and to show them that with the right resources, they can get out of those situations.
Very cool. And that kind of goes into my next question as to like why was it important to you to focus on women and children in particular who are experiencing these difficulties?
Being a mom, I have 2 little boys at home, and I just think about, what if I were in that situation?
Mhm,
How would it affect my children? I don't want anybody to have to experience that at all, and especially seeing it on a day-to-day with students and just within the community, seeing how hard it is, but then the effect that it actually has on the children, and the emotional effect, and the physical, and the mental, all of those really play a huge factor into
mhm.
whether or not the child is going to be successful. And it's really important to me that we break all of those generational cycles that just continue to happen because those mothers just lose hope.
Yeah. So if we wanted to support, are you collecting donations
Mhm.
or so what items are you looking to collect at this moment? Or what are your
Yes.
most high demand items?
So, right now, because this is very much from the ground up, I started this in August and launched it in March. It is very much
So
new.
this year. This is
Yeah,
very
yes,
new.
this is very,
Okay,
very
very new.
new. Yes, I really
Very
wanted
cool.
something that I built from the ground up. I think it's really
Mhm.
important, again, to show little girls and other women that they can do whatever they set their mind to. So I started this initiative, and I am actually partnering with the National Women's Shelter Network, which is so we're guests is that are official hosts of Project Carry On. It's the Emerson Salon on West Genesee Street, and then Spy Baby Bridal. Marie is one of my dear friends, and she has offered to be a host as well. So people
Mhm.
can drop off donations to both of those locations. It could be anything that a mother might need. It could be clothing. It could be any hygiene products that they might need. But then also for the children, books, toys, blankets, maybe a backpack for school. It's really those non-perishable items, anything that a mother might need in order to just get day-to-day living
Mhm.
situated. So the sky is the limit, in my opinion. I think,
Yeah.
though, what we need most are the clothes.
Mhm.
I do believe that, I see children come in all the time clothes because they don't have the means to get nothing or anything new. And I think that that would be the most important.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we've gone over, you're local,
Mhm.
you grew up local, you're impacting here locally. Why is it important for local communities like here in central New York to get involved in these issues to help, um, whether it's donations or even coming to maybe a seminar where we're
Mhm.
spreading awareness? Why is it important for our community to do that?
It's a domino effect. When one community does it, the next community wants in.
Mhm.
And I actually have already branched out, and I actually have a Florida representative for Central Florida. So we are
Very cool.
yeah, so we're bringing Project Carry On to Central Florida, so that is
Mhm.
very exciting. That is still very new. It started last week, but it was a domino effect. They saw what we were doing here in Central New York, and
Mhm.
they reached out to me and said, "Hey, I want to bring this to my community." So when one person starts, it's just a positive ripple
Goes from there.
effect. It does.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So, aside from donations, how are other ways that listeners could support Project Carry On, whether it's maybe going to your website and supporting in a way, showing up for an event?
So the National Women's Shelter Network, because they are one of my partners, they are kind of the hub. So
Mhm.
you can go right to their website, the NWSN, and they have a whole bunch of different ways that you can give back nationally and globally as well. But with Project Carry On, we do have an Instagram. There's always ways to make monetary donations as well. On all of our flyers that we are putting in different businesses, there's a QR
Mhm.
code that they can scan they can donate. No, certainly welcome to do that, but also just getting involved, being a volunteer for Project Carry On. They can reach out through our Instagram and they can sign up for their community and be their representative.
Very cool. And you have a website as well.
I do, yes. So if you go to our Instagram, the website is linked right there, and they're just able to click there, and it can give you all different information on what you can donate, how you can donate, or become involved.
Very cool. And then do you have any upcoming events?
I am always looking for events.
Yeah, as you mentioned, this
always.
is something that's unique. So
yes,
work to do for sure.
Yes, and it doesn't have to specifically be for just Project Carry On. It could be something as simple as just making an appearance somewhere. I love being within the community and showing other organizations that I'm here to help them as well. So I think that that's very important. But my big goal right now is Mrs. International, just a couple months away. So
yes.
yeah.
So as you head to nationals, what would Mrs. International mean for your mission, whether it's you personally or Project Carry On?
I truly believe that right now I am doing everything that Mrs. International would do. I am going out within my community. I'm noticing that this is a global issue and that we need to bring it out and branch out globally. And that's already what Mrs. International does. So I truly just believe that it's going to continue to amplify my platform, which is really the goal of Project Carry On, is to touch as many lives as we can.
I love that. And then what does empowerment mean to you? I feel like there's a lot of empowerment that goes into your work. You have to self-empower, you know, you have to get yourself up and be like, yes, I'm going to head on this stage, you know, but aside from that, you have to work with people that are sometimes in really vulnerable positions, and empower them. So what does that mean to you?
I truly believe that empowerment comes from within. And I think that you have to really think humbly of yourself, because empowerment can be also a negative thing. You can become too empowered and it actually sheds a negative light on somebody. So I think staying really true to yourself, knowing your worth and your mission, and sharing that with other people and showing them that you are just the same. You are no better. You are no different. You all have the same mission. You just might have a different journey to get there, and that's okay.
Is there anything else that you would like to add about Project Carry On or the work that you do here locally?
I would love to get as many local businesses as I can involved. So reaching out to our Instagram, going on our website, emailing us to become involved, because it's very simple on their end. They just put some flyers up for me, and then I am in contact with them weekly to see if donations were collected. And then I do the rest of the work. I bring it to Vera House, which is local here. If not, I will make shipments out to other places throughout the United States.
I love that. Well, this has been such an inspiring conversation today with Lexi Spadaro, Mrs. Northeast International 2026. Her dedication to making a difference through Project Carry On is a powerful reminder of how one person's passion can create real change in so many lives. As Lexi prepares to take the stage at Mrs. International Pageant this July, we'll be cheering her on every step of the way, of course. And if you'd like to support Project Carry On or follow Lexi's journey, as she mentioned, head on over to her social media platforms. We got website, Instagram, Facebook,
everything.
She's all over. She's all over.
Still learning to.
Work in progress, but definitely go check it out and see how you can get involved. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you so much.
That was great.
Yay!